if you're watching someone play, traditionally you see their username, which is like whatever it could be, whatever it could be really on there. It could be their actual tag, it could be something else, but it's enough to make someone sent that exploit out, and it could just completely interrupt the tournament, the match, or the streamer. So finally, Arcsys posted out a response, or rather at least a statement on it. They've been pretty quiet about it. They posted this statement, I think it was like a couple days ago. Yeah, like 3 days ago. They stating, they're aware of the series of attacks of the exploiting targeting players in the game, whereby the exploit has been reported to cause unwanted player messages, game freezes, and crashes. They're investigating this case with full urgency and seriousness and are moving towards implementing a prompt solution. For users who experience such attacks, we suggest exiting online game modes and informing our user team immediately. For those making use of external programs or tools that affect strive in any matter, be aware that this may slow our support team's ability to accurately identify the source of your issue. Basically, if you're modding and doing a couple other things, it's might make things a little tougher, because they'll just see certain things look weird. We're working to provide a safe and reliable environment for our users to play our games, and such malicious exploits will be handled appropriately. We thank all the users for your support and understanding. Basically, it's. I'd rather a statement late now more than ever. Better than nothing. At least give a little bit of confidence that you are dealing with it, because it has been just straight up like silence, like radio silence. But they're looking into it. Our code, it's gonna be tough because our code is
coded into the game, literally.
Well, it's like exploits are always interesting. It's like you don't fix an entire system. You just figure out where the hole is and you plug that hole. And the problem when it comes to that is that once you fix that, then they're just going to find another exploit or another vulnerability and move on to that, and it's going to be a cat and mouse game. And if it's if the attack group or whoever's developed that exploit, it could be a rogue person that's just doing it, and now it's just out in the wild and they're just causing trouble, versus like a group or people that are really just trying to interrupt services and all, and just for malicious purposes. This is going to be a pain. It's going to be something we're going to have to deal with until the system itself eventually gets looked at. But there looks like they're looking to probably patch that and hopefully harden the rest of the system to prevent that from happening. And it's not just gonna have to be Strive. It's gonna have to also be, like I said, DNF, because I know that's also been getting hit. I just don't know to what degree, Meza. Like I've heard it's been going on there, but not to the has it affected tournaments? Have you heard of tournaments getting frozen up or anything like that?
We haven't had any issues with tournaments. I would say it was mostly that first week. It was just streamers. Like, it was mostly hitting streamers more than anything. I would say even our quote unquote big streamers for DNF Duel or medium sized ones aren't seeing it now, because they've run tournaments, they've done all that. I don't think there's really a problem there. I think it's mostly focused on Guilty Gear and mostly their streamers. So like, obviously Diaphone came over to DNF Duel and that crashed too. So I think they're specifically targeting.
We're doing specific targeting attacks, right? Like,
it's not like random as much as we thought it probably would have been before, where it felt like it was. Now it seems really targeted. I think this is just stupid. Like, let's hypothetically say like you're someone who enjoys watching Guilty Gear or playing it, and maybe you're mad and you're part of this group. Like, all you're doing is hindering like any chance for the games to actually keep going forward. So, I mean, I don't know. Clearly, whoever's doing it or whatever group's doing it are enjoying it, and to some extent. But there's other things you guys can focus on hacking. So why don't you go do that?
Yeah, listen, I come like to my IT heads. You know what it is. That's my background. They don't need a purpose, especially if it's for malicious reasons, just to do it. Just to cause a little havoc. That's where you get your kicks off of.
Go hit up the Pentagon.
Yeah.
A little havoc there. Let's see how that goes.
You think you're bad? Yeah, it's nothing. It's just a couple little lonely developers. It's nothing. You're just making some cats that are doing their 9-to-5s over in Japan really have a bad time. But no, like like targeted makes sense. But I'm wondering, if they're doing it for just streamers, they're doing it for tournaments, like how long are they going to do this for? Because sometimes, you'll get bored, on to the next thing. there's got to be a purpose behind it. Whether it's just like, oh, it just happened to find a back door, and now it's like, oh, cause a havoc. That's fine, but we'll see how long it ends up being for. And if it's gonna be a cat and mouse game, which will fucking suck.
I hope it's not. I hope they just nip it in the butt like ASAP. Like I'm glad they said something. It's kind of a little concerning they said this late. Maybe they already have the answer. They're just trying to figure out how to like implement it without ruining everybody's day,
or without having them figure out a defensive way to then counter what they're trying to
when
do.
It happens. You know?
So is this EC exclusive?
Yes.
I think right
my
now
knowledge,
I think it's PC exclusive for now. To my knowledge as well. But I think it could theoretically work for all because it's our code. Like you said earlier, Static. This is built in the game. It doesn't matter. But the way consoles maybe execute might be a little differently than on the PC. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know what the exploit is in the technical terms, but we'll just have to wait and see. But like I said, better late than never. It's been going on for a couple weeks. I know some of the comments are kind of just putting them on blast, but hey, listen, they heard, they're aware, and they're letting us know. It's a good thing. All right, it's a good thing. Just let them do their thing. All right, this kind of stuff has to be you have to be very, very precise with it, very meticulous and careful. You don't want to put in all this work this time to fix this, only for them to have something else by the time you get it out there. Like it's just gonna be a waste of resources for them, and they're not gonna like that. So we'll see what happens at this point, but at least it's getting addressed.